What's up, XRP holders? I think that XRP is gearing up for another rally higher, and in this video I'm going to show you the reasons why. I'm going to talk about the exact price targets and support to hold right now because we are seeing some volatility to the downside. I also want to talk about HBAR very briefly because I'm spotting a very interesting statistic here, and I want to show you some other stuff as well in this quick video. So let's get straight into it. Don't forget to like the video, of course, and let's talk about XRP first. This is the weekly time frame, and we can see that XRP is still in a higher high, higher low structure. So I still believe that this current trend that we're in, this uptrend, is going to continue higher. In the short term, we are also forming something that looks like a bullish continuation pattern. So let me actually share my projected price targets with you. If we take the entire length of this, you could say flagpole, and if we project this trend line to the potential breakout point for XRP, so somewhere around this, then you can see that the target is somewhere around $5 for XRP, and that is not just a random number, because if we look at some Fibonacci confluence here, if we take this entire length of this flagpole and if we project this Fibonacci extension tool to the lowest point currently, then you can also see some key resistance levels here on the chart. Do note that I'm right now on the log chart, but if we go to the linear time scale, then you can see that there will be most likely some resistance between $4 and $5 for XRP. If we go to log back again, you can also see $4.50 to $5. So that is the key area of resistance that we need to watch here if you're invested in XRP. From our current position, that is a pretty lucrative price move because we are talking about a move to the upside of about almost 70%, which is absolutely massive, of course. Another interesting thing, if we sketch out a trend line from the highest point of January to this current low point here, then what we don't want to see is actually a break below this trend line for XRP. If that happens, we could see bearish continuation, but for now we're still holding above this trend line. And for your reference, this trend line sits at approximately, let me show you. So if we do this, then you can see that this trend line, and let me give this another color. Let me make this green. You can see that this trend line is coming in play with the 0.5 Fibonacci level at $2.64 roughly for XRP. So this is the key area to hold. You can also see that we got a perfect rejection point here on the 12th of May. Also here, massive rejections. We couldn't close above this in December of last year. We broke above it eventually, but we couldn't hold above 264. So 264 is definitely a key area to hold for XRP. We could see a retest in a worst case scenario from our current position. That could be a potential drop to the downside of another 10 to 11%. So just keep that in mind if you're currently invested in XRP. But as long as we're holding above this area, I'm still in favor of continuation to the upside here in the short term. You can also see that here from a different perspective. We had this very nice compression pattern. We broke out. We're right now forming another compression on the weekly time frame, and we are literally in the last weekly candle. So this week, latest next week, we should see the decision to the upside most likely for XRP. So keep that in mind. And guys, if you want to take advantage of this huge opportunity right now in XRP or other altcoins, because I do believe that the market is about to reverse very soon, then I can highly recommend Phemex. It's the first link down below in the video description. They're currently offering massive deposit bonuses to my audience exclusively. Basically, guys, the higher your deposit, the higher your trading bonus will be. So that's basically free money that you can use to trade with if you sign up an account with my specific link down below to Phemex. It's an exchange I've been using for a while now. I'm very satisfied. High liquidity over there. They have a wide selection of available altcoins. Definitely check it out. Alternatively, you can also trade on MARGEX or WEEX. These links are also down below in the video description. Massive deposit bonuses as well. Check it out if you're interested. Continuing here with the analysis, we do know that US inflation is currently still below the Fed's 2% target. If you look at the true inflation index over here, you can see 1.97%. So it looks like we are about to see rate cuts. There is a pretty decent, I would say, high probability right now to see rate cuts. And what I do think is going to happen is that rate cuts will be priced in until the next FOMC meeting in September. So we could see some bullish momentum here in the next weeks or so. But eventually, on the announcement of rate cuts, we could see a temporary sell the news event. So just be aware of that. Typically, that is what happens with these kind of news events. What is also interesting is another statistic, and that is that XRP holders in profit fall from 98.2% to roughly 93% right now. And that means that fewer people holding XRP are right now in profits. And that is actually a bullish thing, because when everyone is in profits, the price typically doesn't go any higher. So this is actually a good thing, and I want to see this number going even lower. So let's see how this will develop. Another interesting metric is that short-term XRP wallets grew from 5.8% to 9.3% in just 2 weeks. So basically, the people who bought XRP in the past 3 months, they're heavily buying the dip right now, and it almost doubled, as I said, from 5.8 to almost 10% in just 2 weeks. So this is also very interesting that most likely retail is currently still buying XRP here around $3. Another, I would say, more concerning metric is actually on the Google Trends indicator with search term XRP. If we focus on worldwide in the past 12 months, then we can see that we're currently sitting at 46. But what is key to note here is that we are actually forming lower highs. Since the high point from December, when there was a lot of retail interest, we're only seeing lower highs right now, while the price, in fact, since December formed a higher high. You can clearly see that over here. This was the wick. This was actually December. You can clearly see higher highs on the price, but lower highs on the Google Trends indicator. So this is actually a bearish thing. This means that retail is not as interested right now, and we have seen a lot of catalysts in the crypto market, but these catalysts weren't able to drag in new retail investors into the crypto space. So this could be a bearish thing, but in the short term, I still do believe that XRP could reach the $4 to $5 area. But at that point, we should reevaluate the situation, and there could be some heavy resistance in that specific area. If we look at the altcoin season index, we're currently 53 on the index, so there's still massive room to go higher. But do note, guys, whenever we go above 75 on this index, we always see a pullback sooner rather than later. In altcoins, it always happens. You can look it up. This index is completely for free, but right now 53, so there's still massive room for at least a few more big green candles for XRP and for crypto. I also wanted to show you this HBAR versus Bitcoin comparison, and this is very interesting because back in the last bull run, HBAR outperformed Bitcoin in 2020 by over 600%. Then we had another significant drop to the downside, and eventually another massive rally in 2021 against Bitcoin, which was even greater than the rally from 2020. Now, if we focus on the bull run right now, I also see something similar, because in 2024, HBAR outperformed Bitcoin by more than almost 700%. We have seen that massive pullback just like we saw in 2020 as well, and it looks like HBAR is about to make another higher high, just like we have seen in 2021 against Bitcoin. So HBAR looks strong. I do believe that HBAR will outperform Bitcoin here in the next weeks, maybe the next few months or so. So that is a very good thing. And as I said, I do think that XRP is definitely going to test that $4 to $5 area here in the near term. But do note that we could see a temporary pullback first. That is a possibility, and keep an eye out for that $2.60 region for XRP to hold support. This was it for today's update video. Hopefully the video was helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Also follow me over on Instagram, link down below. I'm posting additional XRP crypto content. You can ask me questions over there. I'm doing Q&A sessions. Also, if you're interested in trade signals, join my trade signal group. Official link down below in the video description. Check it out if you're interested. I want to thank you for watching, for the support, and I'll see you very soon with another XRP update. Bye bye.